Hey guys, this is PhilosopherKing. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. This next battle is going to be game 1 of a best 2 out of 3 series between myself and Actaeon, who, if you're not familiar with, is a tremendous player in Advanced OU tier. I mean, I've seen him play against great players like M-Dragon, Lupergen, Kale, Draco Malfoy, Sir. I mean, you name it, he's played it, and he's just a top-notch player. But I'm not going to talk anymore, so I'm not going to bore you with that. And so here is game 1, non-stop action. So I lead T-Tar, he leads Gengar. The threat of Will-O-Wisp is going to be enough to force me to switch here. And he goes for Giga Drain instead, which is probably the best thing Celebi can switch into against a Gengar. I'm not going to beat around the bush, I'm going to go for Psychic, which will happen once the replay, doesn't freeze. So, here we go. He brings Scarman against it, which only takes 20% from the Psychic, so it's probably got some special defense investment, because Celebi usually does more. I bring Magneton in, he gets his first layer of spikes up, and he gets a second layer of spikes up, which means he's faster. And that's unfortunate, but you know what, it is what it is. I mean, 2 layers of spikes, 1 poke gone. I feel that's a fair trade. We'll see how he wants to respond to the Magneton after his Scarm just got brutally murdered. So 6-5 game, he brings in Flygon. Flygon's going to go for Earthquake. I believe he will, because he probably wants to gain back some tempo, but he might not. Bring my Melodic in, and he goes for Screech, which misses, so I pretty much get in for free other than Spikes damage. He's afraid of Ice Beam, I go for Toxic, hits the Zapdos, which is probably not that significant since a lot of Zapdos have Rest. I'm going to switch out here, and he's probably going to go for Thunderbolt, but he decides instead to switch and goes to Aerodactyl. So we got Aerodactyl versus Magneton. I'm going to go to Celebi, but he could go for Double Edge in anticipation of a switch and try to hit anything I bring in for neutral damage. But I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Earthquake. So I'm going to go to Celebi, he goes for Earthquake. I take barely any damage. I'm going to go for Leaf Seed, because I know he's probably going to bring in a Psychic Resisting Poke. And he does, he brings in Claydol. Leaf Seed connects, I get a little bit of health back. And now I'm going to go for Psychic, thinking he's going to switch here. But he doesn't, he goes for Light Screen instead. And that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. I mean, I bring my Melodic in, and he goes for Ice Beam, but it's going to be difficult, because now he can probably bring the Aerodactyl in a lot more easier than he would be, because Surf is probably not going to kill Aerodactyl now that Light Screen's up, and switch-ins like this one will take Ice Beam no problem. Only does 17% against the Zapdos, and that's pretty significant since this Melodic has some pretty decent special attack investment. So yeah, that was bad. Well, it's not bad, but it's bad for me. I mean, I couldn't do anything about it. So it's not a bad play, just a bad situation. But this may have been a bad play. I bring my Tyranitar in against a Zapdos, and it was pretty obvious that Thunderbolt was coming, and I sort of underestimated the amount of damage it would do, plus spikes. And I decided to get some tempo back and go for Rock Slide, staying in. He switches, goes to Flygon, which takes a ton from Choice Band Rock Slide, 48%, and it resists that move. It was really tempting to go for Focus Punch there, though. I mean, I was pretty sure he was going to go for Flygon, but it would have been bad if he stayed in with Zapdos, gone for Thunderbolt. My Focus Punch would have been broken, and my T-Tower would basically be fodder material from Spikes. So Rock Slide was definitely the best move there, in my opinion. But this was a bad move, for sure. I bring my Melodic in, and once again, underestimating the power of Stab Earthquake plus Spikes. And now Melodic is definitely fodder material, because 2 layers of Spikes will kill it if I bring it in. Bring my Gyarados in against the obvious Earthquake coming in, and I get an Intimidate off. And so my next move is to basically fodder off the Melodic and try to bring the Gyarados back in against the Flygon, who will probably use Rock Slide. But he doesn't. He switches, goes to Aerodactyl, so the the Melodic died for nothing. I bring my Gyarados back in, get an Intimidate off, which will probably allow whatever I bring into the Aerodactyl to take less damage than it normally would. So yeah, you might go for Hidden Power Fly in anticipation of Celebi switch in if he goes for Rock Slide, but he doesn't. He switches and goes to Zapdos. I bring my Dougie in, because at this point there's no point in hiding it. I mean, he's got like he's got a bunch of Pokemon with Levitate and then a Fly, so Arena Trap is pretty much useless. But Dougie shows some use there. I mean, he switches on an anticipated Rock Slide, and I go for HP Bug and take out the Claydol with a super effective crit. So yeah, Dougie's definitely doing his thing despite not being able to use Arena Trap. But Aerodactyl is going to respawn. I'm locked with the HP Bug. I'm going to fodder off my Dugtrio and just to scout out the move. He uses Rock Slide and it misses. Get an HP Bug off for free. So yeah, I'm going to be able to probably live another Rock Slide. So barring a flinch, I can probably do more damage. And yep, no flinch, getting some damage off. So barring another miss, doesn't happen. Yep, so I don't get to do more damage. So that was pretty good. Dougie definitely got his use in despite not having Arena Trap. And knowing he's locked into Rock Slide, I bring my Magneton in. He's going to probably go to Flygon, but I'm not going to go for Thunderbolt. I'm going to sub up in anticipation of that. So, yep, that's what happens. Substitutes up. Maybe I can scare him out here. He doesn't know I don't have HP Ice, so he might switch out to Scout for that. I go for Hidden Power just to kind of scare him, whatever he switches into, but it doesn't work out. He subs up the Scout for that, and it looks like HP Fire will, doesn't break the sub right away. It takes 2. He breaks this Earthquake. Excuse me. He breaks my sub with Earthquake right away. So he's definitely at an advantage. I see him subbing up here again, and so I mean I don't want to switch into a Rock Slide, so I just decided to try to sub up or fodder off my Magneton or to bring something in safely. But he switches. He doesn't even bother subbing up. He goes into Gengar. I tried to get a Thunder Wave on the Gengar. It doesn't work out. It brings his Flygon back in. Breaks the sub with Earthquake. I get another HP Fire off. Right now the Magneton is being a troll. I'm wondering if I should troll some more and by staying in here. And that's indeed what happens. He goes for Screech. I don't know why. He doesn't go for the obvious kill with Earthquake. I guess he was thinking I'd switch again, but it doesn't work out. He breaks the sub once again with Earthquake, and I get another HP Fire off. And finally I switch in, because I know I'm pressing my luck, and he subs up this time. And I get an Intimidate off. Flygon sub is broken. He goes for Screech instead of Rock Slide. And I break the sub, but he's at -1, but I'm at -2, so I'm still really not at much of an advantage despite him being at 40%. I do not want to take a Rock Slide if he's faster, which he probably is. So I'm thinking I go back to the Magneton just to, fodder off, bring back the Gyarados in, and just try to kill the Flygon from there. So that's the plan once the replay doesn't freeze anymore. But he switches like I do, and we get Magneton on Zapdos. Tempting to try to use Thunderbolt to try to kill the Zapdos right now. So I'm going to go for Thunderbolt. And that turns out to be the wrong move, because he goes back to Flygon. And I'm going to try to troll again, go for Substitute. But he's going to be smarter than me, I believe, and he's going to go for Earthquake. And yeah, no more trolling for Magneton. He did a good job at it though, so props to him. And so I answer my Gyarados after my Magneton dies. He's gotten a lead finally, 3-4. And I get an Intimidate off. I'm going to go for HP Fly here. I believe that's what I do, although I can't be wrong. I could be wrong. And yeah, I'm not, because I'm usually never wrong, and I go for HP Fly. It connects with Aerodactyl. Does 30%. Aerodactyl's at 31%, so if the damage roll is consistent, I shouldn't be able to kill the Aerodactyl. But right now, Stab Rock Slide is going to probably kill the Gyarados. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to something else. I'm going to go my T-Tar to fodder it off, basically, because I just want to, nothing I want to bring into the Aerodactyl wants to take a Stab Rock Slide. And I see the Celebi being valuable later on. So I don't want to bring that in against the Aerodactyl. I do believe I made a mistake here, and I should have brought the Gyarados. Gyarados back in the Aerodactyl, get an Intimidate off, but I bring the Celebi in instead. But that turns out not to matter because he switches. I go for Recover. He goes for Screech, which misses. I go for Psychic, which does 50%. Flygon's going to die if he stays in here. He decides to fodder it off, and Screech does connect. So I'm at -2, and so he's going to answer with the Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl's probably going to go for HP Fly, but I'm at 2 pokes, so he may anticipate a switch and go for Rock Slide and just kill my Gyarados, which would be really bad. So yeah, basically coin flip decision here, and it works in my favor. Hidden Power Fly is the move he chooses to use. That's 35%. I'm going to try to kill the Aerodactyl here, because the Aerodactyl is the only thing keeping him alive in this game. Zapdos and Gengar cannot deal with my Celebi. So if he doesn't kill my Gyarados here, it's pretty much game over. But if he does kill my Gyarados, it's game over for me, because even if I manage to take out the Aerodactyl, my Celebi will be damaged by the Aerodactyl from an HP Fly, because he's going to be faster than me, so he'll get that off before I kill his Aerodactyl, and then his Gengar would come in with Ice Punch and finish me off. So yeah, HP Fly on my side doing consistent damage. That's 30%, and I barely live with 1 hit point, and I managed to take out the Aerodactyl. Sandstorm's going to kill my Gyarados here, but that doesn't matter, because my Celebi is pretty much free to start sweeping the rest of his team. That was a very crucial point in the game. That was the turning point. I mean, yeah, he goes for Destiny Bond here. I don't fall for it. I scout out for it. I go for Calm Mind. And pretty much it's game over. But that one turn, that low damage count on the Aerodactyl was pretty crucial. I don't know even if it was a low damage count. I don't know if that was a... because there was an Intimidate against the Aerodactyl, so it was supposed to do less damage than it normally would. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments about that, 'cause I don't know if I won because of hacks or because I'm just a really good player. But let me know. But yeah, we're just going through the motions at this point. I go for Calm Mind, and I take out the Zapdos with Psychics. Thunderbolt only doing a measly 7%. I realize that I don't have the self-KO clause up here right now, which means if he went for Destiny Bond and I went for Psychic, I really don't know what would happen. Would I lose? Would it be a tie? I think it would be a tie, but I really don't want to, like, you know, get a draw after that awesome part of the game where I took out his Aerodactyl. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm just going to wait for him to die from Leech Seed. He must realize he has a chance to tie it here, because he's going to try to go for Destiny Bond. Goes for Thunderbolt. We're just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Thunderbolt, Paralysis, Calm Mind, Destiny Bond. Not much going on. Going through the motions. That was just an awesome part of the game. I don't know what else to say. That was pretty awesome. I mean, other than a few Screech misses and just some bad, you know, just some over predictions from Actaeon with the Flygon against my Magneton, I feel like it was a pretty clean game, pretty high skill, pretty intense, and with that, Gengar dies from Leech Seed, and I take this best out of 3 series with the first victory. So only need one more, but there's, you know, another game coming up, so that's gonna change. So I hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments about that one turn against the Aerodactyl with my Gyarados, and look forward to the next battle.